When I talk to owners, operators, and employees of small businesses in New Hampshire, one thing I hear consistently is that access to capital is a real challenge. And while our community banks have increased their lending, capital access from large banks and other entities has been very hard to come by. So as a result, small businesses fighting to grow and create jobs continue to be constrained in their efforts. Now, I'm glad that the Senate is planning to move forward with this legislation that will address capital formation and that will take some additional steps to help those small companies get the financing they need to grow. But as we take that step forward, it's equally important that we don't also take a step back. That's why I believe it's critical for the Senate to extend 2 venues of small business financing as part of this debate: the Export-Import Bank and the Small Business Administration's 504 refinancing program. These programs, which bring no cost to the taxpayers, let me say that again, these programs bring no cost to taxpayers, but provide financing options for so many small businesses in New Hampshire, in West Virginia, and across our country. We have an important opportunity to ensure that such important avenues to capital remain available in the coming years by extending these programs as part of the small business capital package that we're currently debating. So first, let me begin with the Export-Import Bank, which is a vital agency that helps many small businesses secure the financing they need for export deals. And this is critical because exports are such an important part of the markets that are available to businesses today. You know, 95% of markets exist outside of the United States, but only 1% of small and medium-sized businesses are doing business outside of the United States. So businesses need access to these international markets. Last August, Senator Ayotte and I held a small business field hearing in New Hampshire, and it was on small business exporting. We heard how difficult it can be for a small company to sell its products overseas. And it's particularly challenging for a small business to get financing for its foreign deals. That's where the Export-Import Bank makes such a significant impact. 87% of the Export-Import Bank's transactions support small businesses. So I think there's a misconception about who the Ex-Im Bank really helps. 87% of their transactions support small businesses. Last year alone, the bank helped finance more than $6 billion in export sales from small companies in the United States. It set a goal of increasing this volume by an additional $3 billion in the coming year, and it's created a new Global Access for Small Business initiative, which is designed to dramatically increase the number of small companies taking advantage of its programs. In fact, I think this new initiative is terrific. The Ex-Im Bank came to New Hampshire and unveiled this initiative. And again, this bank assists those small businesses at no cost to the taxpayer. Unfortunately, right now, this no-cost small business program is in jeopardy. Unless we act soon to reauthorize the Export-Import Bank, it will hit its lending cap and it will be forced to cut off its support for small businesses. We just can't afford to let that happen. Without the bank, small businesses will lose a significant amount of foreign sales and the jobs they maintain. Last year, the bank supported over 288,000 American jobs. As more small companies become aware of the bank's programs, more businesses will be able to access new markets and create new jobs. So I want to give an example because, as I said, last year we had the chair of the Export-Import Bank in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. They unveiled their new small business initiative. And they met with a number of small businesses who were interested in exporting. One of those small businesses was a company called Skelly Medical, which is a medical equipment company that's based in Hollis, New Hampshire. Before our event, Skelly Medical was unaware of the programs that the Export-Import Bank offered. 2 weeks later, just 2 weeks after this event, Skelly took out a policy with the bank. That's put Skelly in a position to expand its sales overseas. And right now, Skelly Medical is looking to finance deals in as many as 5 international markets. That's all thanks to the help of the Export-Import Bank. Without the Export-Import Bank, that kind of small business success story won't happen. It would be a real mistake for this Senate to pass a capital access bill without this critical reauthorization. Now, the second program I'd like to talk about is another no-cost program that deserves to be extended, and that's the Small Business Administration's Section 504 refinancing program. With bipartisan support, the Senate passed the Small Business Jobs Act 2 years ago. Well, about a year and a half. And that Small Business Jobs Act created this 504 program to help small businesses refinance existing loans under the SBA's 504 lending program. Again, what we're hearing, as my colleagues know, and as I'm sure the presiding officer knows, is that this difficult real estate market that we're in has made it challenging for many successful businesses to refinance their real estate deals. They can't get access to capital right now, particularly in the real estate industry, which has been so hard hit during this recession. What this SBA program allows is for small businesses to lock in long-term stable financing so that they can free up capital to invest in their companies and hire new workers. And although this program got off to a slow start, the Small Business Administration has made important changes to ensure that it is working better now for small businesses and for banks. So as a result, we're starting to see a significant increase in volume. In New Hampshire, lenders see this program becoming a real success in the near future. Alan Abraham, who's the president of the Granite State Development Corporation in New Hampshire, has said that banks and borrowers are now understanding the significant benefits of the program. And he told me, quote, "We're starting to field many more phone calls requesting information on the policies, and we anticipate dozens of New Hampshire small businesses could benefit from extending this program." We shouldn't cut this program off at the knees, just as we're beginning to see substantial returns, again, without costs to taxpayers. This program is scheduled to sunset in September, and I believe it's important for the lending community to know as soon as possible that the program will continue into 2013. That's so they can devote the resources necessary to continue this initiative's budding success, and also so that we can provide the certainty that so many companies tell us they need. Now, we should extend this program. We should address the Export-Import Bank's reauthorization. And that's why I think as we look at the Landrieu, Reed, Levin substitute amendment, it includes these provisions. It includes reauthorization of the Export-Import Bank, and it includes extension of the SBA 504 program. It also includes a number of other provisions that address some of the concerns that have been expressed by the House-passed capital formation bill. And Senators Landrieu, Reed, and Levin were on the floor earlier and really very eloquently elaborated on those changes. So I would urge my colleagues to support that substitute amendment, to reauthorize the Export-Import Bank, to extend SBA's 504 loan program. And Mr. President, I would ask unanimous consent that I be added as a co-sponsor of that Landrieu, Reed, Levin amendment.
Without objection.
Thank you.